Friend mirrors my life, lies about me and even fakes my medical condition, leaving me questioning our entire friendship. I, 25, F and Stacy, 24, F. Stacy is a fun person to be around. We've been friends for over 5 years now. She comes over and I let her borrow my clothes or give her clothes that I don't want anymore. I don't really like her style, but she lets me borrow her clothes when I want. So I knew she had a tendency to lie. But the lies were harmless, or at least I thought so. We've been friends for almost 5 years now. Sometimes, it felt like she was just joking or trying to make herself seem more interesting. I ignored it, which in hindsight was a mistake. Over time, though, the lies became more frequent, and I started to notice how often they revolved around me. We were fine and our friendship was good, but I started to feel weird about her when my sister messaged me, saying Stacy had been talking behind my back. She was telling people that I kicked her out of my condo and that I had men constantly coming in and out of my place, making her feel unsafe while she was there. Big lie BTW. Here's what actually happened. Stacy had come to my city while I was back in my hometown. She was staying with another friend, but that arrangement fell through. Without asking, she started bringing all her stuff to my place. She didn't book a return flight home and didn't ask if she could stay long term. My roommate doesn't like Stacy because she's messy, she leaves clothes everywhere and doesn't clean up after herself. The last time she stayed, she overstayed her welcome by a week, and I didn't know when she planned to leave. This time, my roommate was coming back the next day, and I knew she wouldn't want Stacy staying with us. I politely asked Stacy if she could stay somewhere else, explaining the situation. She said it was fine and that she'd stay with another friend, but apparently, she turned around and told that friend all the lies my sister relayed to me. So on to the mirroring. The copying was done over long periods of time. We've been friends for 5 years now, but I only started noticing it about a year ago. So here are some of the instances I felt she was copying me. I told her I was going to manage my parents' business. A week later, she told everyone she was going to manage her parents' business too. Never happened. I said I was moving to the city to finish college. Suddenly, she was telling people she was moving to the same city for college. Never happened. I started looking for styling jobs and internships. A week later, she told me she got a styling job, but it never happened. There were other instances that were small, like I got a new phone and she immediately blurts out she's gonna get a new phone but for free from some guy. Or like that I got a tattoo from this popular tattoo artist and she will immediately say that tattoo artist messaged her for a tattoo session but she was in the hospital so she couldn't go. Things like that. At first, I brushed it off, thinking maybe she just wanted to feel included. But the pattern of claiming to do what I'm doing, without actually following through, kept happening. I've always been someone who works hard and takes pride in being productive. I get that a little mirroring is normal in friendships, but Stacy's behavior felt different. She's someone who doesn't have much direction in life. She hasn't finished high school, has no real plans or passions, and doesn't put effort into learning skills that could lead to a career. I tried to be patient, but things escalated in a way I didn't expect. She copied my medical condition. This was the tipping point. And a situation I have never been in and felt so creeped out about. About a year ago, I had a partial salpingectomy due to an infection in my fallopian tube. It was one of the most painful experiences of my life. My tube ruptured, and the infection spread throughout my body, sepsis I believe it's called. Luckily, I was already in the hospital, so they removed the tube and started me on antibiotics. Even so, my doctor told me I might struggle to have children in the future. It was traumatic, and the recovery process was long and emotional. A few weeks ago, Stacy went to the hospital. I messaged her to ask what happened, but she just sent a selfie of herself in a hospital bed. I was busy with finals at school, so I didn't follow up right away. 2 days later, she messaged me again, saying she was exhausted from being in the hospital for 4 days. I asked what was wrong, and she said she had the same condition I did. I was shocked. She claimed she had a ruptured cyst in her fallopian tube that became infected, almost went into heart failure, and needed a blood transfusion. She said she was supposed to have surgery, but they didn't proceed because of her weak condition. I immediately knew she was lying. If your fallopian tube is infected and ruptured, surgery isn't optional, it's mandatory. I'm not a doctor, but after my experience, I did a lot of research, and what she described just didn't make sense. Now here's the thing, I told people I had a ruptured cyst cause I didn't know how else to explain my condition and not get into the gross details. You say cyst and people don't really ask anymore. Truth is it was a really bad infection that only escalated because of my IUD. The infection grew in my fallopian tube and got so big they thought it was a cyst at first, hence why I decided to just call it a cyst. And I did mention to her that it's a good thing I was in the hospital cause if all that happened and I got sepsis it could cause heart failure. I feel like she only mirrored what I said except tried to make her condition seem worse. Nothing she said made any sense. She was in the hospital, but the reason why she was there sounds like it's all made up. Even on a group call while she was still in the hospital, she was listing medications to herself, almost as if she was trying to convince us it was real. She also later told a story about how she jumped on the hospital bed when her brother came to visit. Who does that after a life-threatening emergency? At this point, I felt insane. Cause who lies about something like this? Am I crazy? Is she copying me? Is she really a bad friend? Am I imagining all of it? Reading into it too much? Is it bad if I don't want to be friends with her anymore? She's my friend and I want to help her, but it's hard to approach her if all she does is lie. I want to distance myself from her, but we have mutual friends, and I know she'll spread more lies about me if I pull away. Has anyone else dealt with a friend like this? How do you create distance without creating unnecessary drama? Edit. I want to add that a few hours ago she just posted in her story a screenshot of a course list of subjects that is the same as the course I'm taking right now. She has never shown interest in my course, so this is really weird. I wonder if she's just messing with me at this point. Update 1. I had reached out to a lot of my friends during the holidays and told them about what concerns I have with Stacy. This is the first update, by the way. I'll see if I can link the first post for those who haven't read it yet. I don't know where to start, so I'll try to organize my thoughts as much as I can. But honestly, it's a lot worse than I thought it was. I have not ran into her at all when I went back to my hometown. Thank God. When I knew she was back in town, I avoided going out at all, barely replied to her texts. And obviously told my friends, who were very supportive by the way, that I did not want to be where she was. Luckily we all took a trip out of town that she was recently uninvited to, due to her having a lot of issues with the people going. Thankful for that, cause I really did not want to see her. When me and my friend, we'll call him Ryan, took a trip to a different town nearby, we reached out to one of our friends that lived there. We'll call her Danny. Now Danny was really close with Stacy, as in they would hang out almost every day. Everyone knew them to be BFFs, and well, now they are no longer friends. Stacy told me about the falling out situation, and so I wanted to hear Danny's side, and when I tell you, it was a whole different story. Stacy made Danny look crazy, insecure, over-emotional and inconsiderate. I was shocked at how different the two stories were. Danny started opening up on how Stacy borrowed money from her for her rent, kept treating her horribly and pushing her around. I told Danny how I didn't know she was that much of a bitch. I have never seen that side of her at all. Danny replied with, "That's because she's obsessed with you, you don't even know," and that sent chills all over my body. She went on to say how every single time she would be with Stacy she would talk about me. From my hobbies to the issues I have in my life, including dating and very personal things, Stacy would want to dress like me and do whatever it was I was doing. She would buy the same accessories as me, shoes as me. Tell everybody about me. Talk about how me and her are really close. Anytime I would dye my hair she would want the same colors. It made me feel so uncomfortable hearing all of this, knowing I thought this girl was my friend. But at the same time she would apparently belittle me. Anytime someone would give me a compliment and I wasn't there, she would tell people I smell bad and I have bad hygiene and that I slept with a lot of guys. She would tell people that I get all of my connections from her, when at the same time she was telling Danny that she was only friends with me because she can get connections from me. The contradictions? And Danny added that Stacy does not shower. She doesn't even own her own soap, shampoo or conditioner. I realized then where the comments of me having bad hygiene came from. All of the insults she gives other people really are just reflections on how she is. She sleeps around. She has bad hygiene. She gets her connections from me. She is insecure. These are the insults she would tell people about other people, and honestly now I see the pattern that it's all just her really mirroring insecurities about herself and projecting them to other people. I couldn't say I was shocked, but I definitely was hurt and had chills. And when I asked Danny how long this had been going on for, she replied with, since the first time she met Stacy, which was 4 years ago. I can't believe I was friends with Stacy for so long. And I never noticed how sick this person was. She would end up not paying her rent because she would spend all her money buying the same things I had or coming to my city to visit me. Also, I kind of figured out her medical condition she claimed was the same as mine. Was. And STI/STD, because her frequent guy that she was seeing also went to the hospital and she kind of let it slip to one of our friends that it was because of her infection. I am not shaming her at all. I never cared how she wanted to live her life, but I always tried to remind her to wrap it up, especially if she wanted to see guys like that. Well, hope someone tries to remind her about that now, cause she will not be hearing it from me or hearing from me anymore. At all. I feel drained by all of the information I have been getting about her. I guess now that I have seen for myself what she really is, I can hear what other people are saying more clearly. Me and all of my close friends agree that we have all learned from meeting Stacy. I have been too nice and too generous with people that I allowed myself to be used by someone who I thought was my friend. I mean, she is a flat-out narcissist and I kind of knew it from the moment I met her, but I let it slide, so now I'm more skeptical with people I meet. I honestly hope I never have to see her again. Update 2. After I cut her off completely, I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. Stacy didn't just disappear quietly. Instead, she started inserting herself into my old friend group in the weirdest ways. First, I found out she started hanging out with my ex, a guy she had never spoken to while we were dating. One of my friends sent me a screenshot of them at dinner together, with Stacy all dolled up, looking like she was on a date with him. I honestly didn't care about the ex part, but what creeped me out was she was wearing an outfit identical to one I wore on a date with him months ago. I have no idea how she even knew about it. Then, another friend messaged me saying Stacy had started trying to act like me. She was talking like me, using phrases I use, even laughing the way I laugh. One of my friends told me, "It's like she's cosplaying as you." It's actually disturbing. The fake Instagram account then came the biggest shock. A friend DM'd me asking if I had made a new Instagram account. When I said no, she sent me the profile. It was Stacy. But the bio? The photos? The captions? They were all styled to look like me. The handle was something suspiciously close to my username. The pictures? They weren't my pictures, but they were eerily similar. Same poses, same angles, even a photo of her at a cafe I used to go to all the time. She even started following all the same people I follow, including people she had never met. I was freaked the hell out. I confronted her in a DM. I didn't go off, I just asked, "Hey, why does this new account look exactly like mine?" She blocked me immediately. That's when I knew she wasn't just some insecure girl trying to fit in. This was next level obsessive. The lies are getting out of control since I've cut her off. More and more people have been coming to me with stories about Stacy. She's telling people that I bullied her and that's why we aren't friends anymore. She told someone that she was the reason I got all my connections, LOL, and that I basically used her for networking. She claimed that I was jealous of her and couldn't handle competition. Girl. What? And get this, she said she dumped me. As a friend, like. She went around telling people she was the one who cut me off because I was toxic. At this point, I wasn't even mad, I was just exhausted. It was like dealing with a cartoon villain. The final straw, she tried to get into my workplace. Here's where it gets actually scary. I found out from a coworker that Stacy tried applying for a job at my workplace. Now, she has zero qualifications for it, and she has never shown interest in my field before, but suddenly, she wants to work in the same industry? When my coworker casually asked her, "Oh, did OP inspire you to apply here?" She immediately got defensive and acted like she had always wanted this job. Reminder, she never had any plans for her future before this. Luckily, she didn't get the job. But the fact that she even tried? I was done. So what now? At this point, I have her completely blocked on everything. My real friends are all aware of her BS, so I'm not worried about losing anyone over her lies, but honestly, I'm just exhausted. Update 3. At first, things were quiet. Too quiet. After the whole job application stunt, I figured she'd either give up or try something petty. But she did neither, she just went silent. She stopped posting online, she wasn't showing up in my usual circles, and nobody was mentioning her anymore. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I had this gut feeling that something was off. Then, weird things started happening. One day, I went to a cafe I go to often, and the barista, who knows me, casually said, "Oh, hey. Weren't you just here earlier?" I hadn't been there all day. The barista looked confused and said, "That's weird. Someone who looked exactly like you was sitting in your usual spot." A week later, a friend texted me, "Hey, were you just at the mall? I could have sworn I saw you, but you didn't say hi." I wasn't at the mall. When I asked them what they saw, they said, "You were wearing sunglasses and a hoodie, walking super fast like you didn't want to be seen." At this point, I started getting really uneasy. 2. My friend saw her, and she was dressed like me. The breaking point? One of my closest friends, Danny, actually ran into her. She was out shopping when she spotted Stacy across the store, wearing an outfit almost identical to one I wore just a few days before. And it wasn't just a similar outfit, it was the exact same look, same hairstyle, same bag, even the same earrings I had worn that day. Danny said she had to do a double take because, for a second, she thought it was me. And here's the creepy part, as soon as Stacy saw Danny, she turned and bolted out of the store. Like she had just been caught doing something she wasn't supposed to. Danny immediately called me and said, "I don't think she's just copying you anymore. I think she's trying to be you." 3. The fake accounts get worse. Remember how I found that fake Instagram account mimicking me? Well, turns out it wasn't the only one. A mutual friend messaged me and asked, "Hey, why did you make a new Twitter?" I hadn't. But sure enough, there was a Twitter account with my name, my profile picture, and even tweets that sounded like things I would say. She had made a whole fake social media presence as me. I reported everything immediately, and thankfully, the accounts got taken down fast, but I don't even want to think about what she was planning to do with them. Was she pretending to be me to talk to people? Was she trying to ruin my reputation? Or was she just living out some weird fantasy where she actually was me? Either way, it freaked me the hell out. 4. She showed up at my apartment. Yep. It finally escalated to that. One night, I was home alone when I got a weird feeling, like someone was watching me. I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt it. I checked my security camera, thank God I have one outside my apartment door, and my heart stopped. Stacy was standing outside my door. Just standing there. Not knocking. Not texting. Just standing there. She had a hoodie on, and she kept shifting her weight, like she wasn't sure what to do next. I immediately called one of my guy friends and told him what was happening. I didn't want to open the door or confront her alone. He told me to stay inside and keep watching the camera. After a few minutes, she left. But the fact that she was even there at all? Terrifying. I don't know if she was planning to knock or if she just wanted to see if I was home. Either way, I was done. 5. I took legal action. I talked to a lawyer and was advised to file for a restraining order. I had proof of her fake account's witnesses who had seen her copying me the security camera footage of her outside my door. I officially filed a police report. They took it seriously, especially after seeing the camera footage. She was served with a cease and desist. 6. The aftermath. Where is she now? After that, Stacy completely disappeared. No more fake accounts. No more weird encounters. No more reports from my friends seeing her around. It was like she finally got the message. I don't know if she moved, if she just found a new person to fixate on, or if she's just lying low. But I do know one thing, I'm done. Now on to second story. Wife moaned another man's name during intimacy on our anniversary, insists it meant nothing, and now our marriage counseling is derailed. I'm 27 male, in a fight with my wife, 27F, after an incident during intimacy. For context, we're high school sweethearts married for 6 years. We have a child, 3M. We've been through a lot together. I love her deeply. Our marriage is in a rough patch. Our quality time as a couple is struggling. We're in counseling. We're working on making time for each other and reaffirming our bond. That's our current focus in counseling, and we're assigned intimacy exercises. Part of these exercises is for us to make a consistent, conscious effort for each other. We had a staycation to celebrate our anniversary while our son spent the weekend at his grandparents'. The trip was largely nice, and we got to better focus on each other, but it took a turn. The night of our anniversary we were cuddling, and it turned into more. My wife initiated. She was really into it and expressive, and then out of nowhere she moaned another man's name who's in our friend group. We stopped immediately. There was no mistaking what she said. She looked stunned before recovering and treating it like a texting typo or something. When I questioned why she'd say another guy's name, let alone one of our friends, she swore it meant nothing and that she was just consumed with what I was doing to her. I couldn't buy it. I don't believe it meant nothing. Not the passionate way she said it. I believe she was fantasizing about him while being with me. She insisted it wasn't like that and was only a slip of the tongue. I asked why his name in particular. First she didn't know, then said maybe because she was replying to his texts earlier in the group chat. When I pushed back, she got defensive. She said I was making something out of nothing and how it didn't need to ruin our anniversary. I told her nothing she was saying was reaching me, and I needed some time. She tried kissing me and initiating again like nothing happened, but I turned her down. The incident put a damper on the rest of the trip. We haven't been intimate since, and any steps we've made forward with our exercises have taken a significant leap back. We're in a cycle of awkward silence even in front of our son or her ignoring the elephant in the room. She's being extra affectionate now, but I can't shake what happened. I never thought twice about their friendship, but now I'm seeing past interactions differently. I love my wife. She and our son mean the world to me. I've been committed to working on our marriage, but I'm at a loss here. I feel my wife isn't being honest and is attempting to rug sweep by pouring on affection. I'm left reconsidering everything. I don't know how to navigate forward. I need outside perspectives. Update 1. I couldn't reply to everything, but the outside perspectives helped. A general consensus was that my wife, 27F, and I's issues should be tackled in therapy. I knew that's what I should have done, but I delayed. I was too embarrassed. The thought of bringing up what happened in counseling made it worse, but I knew it needed to be done. My wife didn't initially take kindly to it. She was defensive and accused me of throwing her under the bus. I disagreed. I wouldn't throw her under the bus either. The truth is, we never arranged topics in therapy beforehand. We argued over each other. Our therapist came through as a referee. She called for a timeout for us to recollect and to reflect on the objective being working towards a solution, not going at each other. We were able to actually talk once things cooled down. My wife was asked how she would feel if the roles were reversed. She admitted if I had said another woman's name while we were having sex and on our anniversary, she wouldn't have handled it well at all. She apologized for downplaying my feelings. While I appreciated her acknowledgement, I still thought she wasn't honest about why she said that guy's name. So I pressed. She said she didn't want to hurt me more than she already did. I told her she was hurting me by lying. She confessed that during a stint where we weren't having sex, she had engaged in fantasies to satisfy herself. One of them was of our friend. I knew the stint she was talking about. Intimacy as a whole has been a struggle, but there was a point where we were abstinent sexually. We weren't even sharing a bed at the time. We'd argue, then leave to separate rooms, or our son, 3M, would share the bed with us. I asked how long she's been fantasizing about him. She said off and on. He wasn't a constant fantasy. It wasn't necessarily about him but more about the taboo. She swore that the fantasies meant nothing. That they were just scenarios to get her there and nothing she would ever actually want. It was tough, but I tried hearing her out instead of shutting down. Arguing wasn't getting us anywhere either. I can't relate to her about this. She's always been enough for me during good and bad times. I was always focused on her during intimacy. I told her that while I knew our marriage wasn't perfect, I thought we were getting to a better place, and we were engaging in various forms of intimacy again. She claimed she doesn't indulge the fantasies anymore. I called bull because she did just that on our anniversary of all days. She insisted his name was only a slip of the tongue because she was replying to his texts in the group thread that day. She said she was consumed with what I was doing to her, and in the heat of the moment, His name slipped out. When I asked why she didn't tell me all of this after the incident, she said she felt guilty and afraid for our marriage. She said our marriage was already in a state of recovery, and she didn't want to blow everything up over a stupid mistake. She kept saying she doesn't want him or anyone else, she only wants to be with me, and that's the whole reason why she's fighting for our marriage. The session was a lot. I was mostly quiet after she finished. She asked me to please say something, but all I could say was I needed some time. I'm still sorting through how I feel. I believe she was more truthful, but it's difficult, nor do I see things between her and our friend the same. I would like to work on my marriage. My wife and our son mean the world to me. I want the best solution for everyone involved.